You open your eyes to chaos. Not the gentle kind, like a baby crying and a parent soothing them. This is the loud, overwhelming kind. Two adults shouting about bills, betrayal, and whose turn it was to buy milk. You don't understand the words yet, but you can feel the tension. It settles into your tiny body like secondhand smoke. You were born as a peace treaty that never worked. The doctors might have said, "Congratulations, it's a boy," or "It's a girl." But to your parents, it sounded more like, "Congratulations, here's another reason to argue." From day one, you are not a childer, the emotional glue holding two cracked people together. Except the glue starts melting the moment you cry too long, or don't smile on cue. You can't crawl yet, but somehow you're already holding the family together. That's the firstborn curse. You're the one your parents test everything on. Every mistake they make with you. Every boundary they cross with you first. And the worst part? You'll still love them for it. Here's the dark humor. It's as if the universe saw your newborn face and decided you'd be the one responsible for everyone else's problems. Welcome to your life, an unpaid internship in emotional survival. If you've ever been that responsible one, you already know the pain, so take a second to like this video, subscribe, and let's survive the rest together. You grow up fast, not by choice, but because you have to. Somewhere between your first steps and your first scolding, you realize that peace at home depends on how you act. If you cry too much, mom gets upset. If you stay quiet, dad thinks you're up to something. You learn early that love is conditional, and it disappears when you need it most. Become the referee for two adults who never learned to play fair. You're the one who hides under the bed with your little sibling when the arguments get loud. You're the one who runs to calm mom down before she throws something again. Normal kids have bedtime stories. You have whispered apologies through locked doors. Normal kids draw suns and rainbows. You draw frowning stick figures holding hands because that's your version of family. When relatives visit, you're told to smile. Smile so they don't see the cracks. Smile so mom can pretend. Smile so dad won't look guilty. You're the family's public relations department before you can even spell pretend. And somehow, in all this chaos, you develop skills. You become hyper-aware. You can sense a mood swing before it happens and predict arguments before they start. You end up as the household's unofficial therapist, but without any training or pay. But there's a catch. Every time you solve a problem, you become the one everyone expects to fix things. Every time you keep the peace, people expect you to always do it. You're a child, but the family treats you like a third parent. You pack your own school lunch. You help your siblings with homework. You lie for your parents when the truth is too ugly. And in the quiet moments when no one is watching, you wonder if everything would fall apart if you stopped trying. Spoiler alert, yes. And it would be your fault, apparently. If this part feels familiar, you deserve a break. Go ahead, like this video, subscribe, and get ready. It only gets tougher from here. School becomes your only escape, but even there, you can't just relax. You're the responsible one, the teacher's helper, the mature kid who reminds the class to stay quiet. Everyone praises you for being disciplined, organized, and dependable, almost like a little manager in a sad office story. But that's not maturity. That's trauma, disguised as leadership. At home, you're still the mediator. When mom cries, you comfort her. When dad disappears, you explain it to your siblings like an HR memo. You're fluent in adult problems no kid should understand. You learn to read report cards like battle plans. Good grades mean temporary peace. A single C means an argument that could last 3 days. You don't study for yourself, you study for safety. And here's the irony. You get good at pretending everything is fine. You laugh at jokes that aren't funny. You celebrate birthdays that feel sad. You tell your friends, "My parents are just strict," instead of saying, "My parents are always fighting." In class, you're the quiet achiever. At home, you're the one cleaning up everyone's feelings. Then come the betrayals. The times you defend your parents to others only for them to throw you under the bus when it suits them. You lie to protect them, but they never protect you back. Later, you realize it's all training for adulthood. In broken families, you learn that love often means cleaning up messes you didn't cause. And by the time you hit your teens, you've mastered survival so well that nobody notices you're exhausted. You're the good kid, the one teachers trust, the one parents brag about, the one no one checks on. Because it seems strong, people don't break. They just bend quietly and keep going. You've made it this far. Give this video a like, hit subscribe, and let's keep going. The storm is just getting started. Adolescence hits like an earthquake. Your parents either separate, stay for the kids, or morph into polite strangers who communicate through passive-aggressive notes on the fridge. You become the bridge between your parents, the unpaid messenger. Tell your mother, I said. Remind your father he still owes, you should be outliving your teenage years. But instead, you're busy handling everyone else's emotions. And don't forget your siblings. They watch you closely, both in what you do and how you feel. When they cry, you comfort them. When they fail, you fix things. When they mess up, you take the blame. That's what being the firstborn means, acting like a parent without pay and a therapist without training. But eventually, something breaks. Maybe you catch mom lying. Maybe dad disappears for real this time. Maybe you realize your entire childhood was a group project where only you did the work. That's your defining moment, the day you stop believing that family always means safety. You start questioning everything. Love, loyalty, the point of birthdays. You try rebelling, but guilt drags you back. You try silence, but someone always needs you. You look around and realize, no one ever showed you how to need yourself. That's the hidden tragedy of being the firstborn in a broken home. You learn how to protect everyone else, but not your own well-being. And when you finally try to set boundaries, everyone treats it like betrayal. You've changed, they say. No, you just stopped bleeding for free. If that line felt true for you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Let's keep talking about the hard truths no one mentions. It doesn't free you. It just gives you a bigger to-do list. You leave home thinking you've escaped, but the ghosts come packed in your luggage. You overthink every text, over-apologize in relationships, and work yourself into burnout because rest feels like guilt. You're addicted to responsibility. You can't watch someone struggle without jumping in. You can't accept love without trying to earn it. You build friendships that feel one-sided because you're always the fixer, the listener, the mature one. You date people who think your emotional stability is a strength, unaware that it's just exhaustion. Your siblings still call when they're in trouble. Your parents still lean on you for advice. You're the family backbone, but no one ever asks whether you develop coping habits, some healthy, some not. Maybe you overwork. Maybe you try to please everyone. Maybe you use dark humor, because if you don't laugh at the pain, it might overwhelm you, finally swallow you. And every so often, you notice yourself parenting your friends. You explain, fix, and forgive. By now, it's just a habit. You learned this, but not because you wanted to. There's a quiet moment late one night when you sit alone and realize no one ever taught you how to receive care. You only know how to give it. That's the tragedy of being the firstborn in a broken family. You survived the storm, but now you live like an umbrella. Always useful, but never really dry. If this part spoke to your soul, pause, hit like, and subscribe. You're not alone, and we've still got one final chapter. It takes years to unlearn the patterns that raised you. Therapy helps, if you're lucky enough to find it. Or maybe it's late-night journaling, where you write down all the things you wish someone had told you. You start to realize that being the firstborn wasn't just a curse, it was a training ground. You learned resilience, empathy, and patience. You learned how to hold chaos in one hand and still reach for peace with the other. But you also learned something important. You can let go of the old roles. You can stop being the fixer. You can say no without feeling guilty. You can be loved without having to earn it. Maybe you still flinch when people argue. Maybe home still feels like a fragile word. But for the first time, you understand that you are not responsible for healing others. You are responsible for healing yourself. You start laughing again. Real laughter this time. You rebuild boundaries. You learn that love doesn't always have to hurt. And one day, when your younger sibling calls asking for advice, you take a deep breath and say, "I love you, but I can't fix this for you." That's not selfishness. That's liberation. You finally break the cycle. Here's the irony. It took acting as the family's emotional parent to realize you never really had one yourself. Still, there's beauty in the scar. Because if surviving a broken family teaches you anything, it's this: you were never broken. You were just built to hold what others couldn't. And now, you finally get to live for you. If this story hit deep, give it a like, subscribe for more dark truths, and thank you for watching till the end. You survived this video just like you've survived everything else.